go. Right, welcome. It's week one roundup news. Week one leaks, Games Workshop, Blood Bowl 2020, carnage. We're just going to round up some of the stuff we haven't spoken about already this week. We are live streaming this episode, so hopefully you are able to join us and you can ask some questions in the chat and let us know how you're feeling and what your thoughts are on some of this stuff. Unsurprisingly, I'm joined by Bloodtithe Ben. Ben, are you enjoying the English summer?
I'm just a puddle of liquid at the moment. Like, everything is damp. I just don't understand.
I know, it's absolutely crazy, isn't it? I've been at storage. I've been doing some like furniture and things, and it has been very, very testing. But
in a metal box.
You know what? It's surprisingly cool in storage. So I'm feeling all right. But I can't imagine it's perfect for printing and things at the moment.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I had a big print fail today. I was very disheartened.
I know, I saw in the group chat. That's absolutely brutal. Anyway, guys, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the most recent leaks that we haven't spoken about already. So we've spoken about the Imperial Nobility. Hello, dogs. And we've spoken about the Black Orc team. We've spoken about some of the rules that we've seen so far. So we're not really going to go into those too much. We're going to start at the end. We're going to start with Snotlings. Then we're going to talk about Necro. Then we're going to talk about other stuff. So let's just say hello to people in chat. We've got Craig Nash. How are you? As late as a tree man scoring a touchdown. Hey, we were just about on time. Rob Williams Day. How are you? Stephen Loud. How you doing? And Paul Baker. How you doing? Craig Nash says Sweaty is a Wood Elf player. Up north. Oh, I was going to say Sweaty is a Wood Elf player trying to throw, and we'll come to that. We'll come to that in a bit. It might be a bit too soon to joke about that kind of thing. So Stephen Loud in chat, bring me my Snotlings now, Games Workshop. So let's begin with Snotlings. Ben, I know I've been waiting for these for ages. Did you get a chance to see the roster?
I did. It's proper exciting, isn't it? It's like another Goblin style team.
It is. It's like a really bad Goblin team, which is so exciting. Rob says, Ben, go up north and it's about 26 degrees. Perfect for his machine. Brilliant. Steve Green, how you doing? Toby XX, a million. Woohoo, Necro, love the washing line. Love the washing line. So, first things first, Snotling teams. So, Ben, I think it's probably best if we just quickly run through the positionals, the skills, and then we talk about how we think they're going to play and what we think they're going to be. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. So 0 to 16 Snotling linemen, 15,000. Okay, so we got the first player here of the episode that is at the new price limit. So the price limits used to be in increments of 10,000. It is now 5,000, and straight away we've got the cheapest Blood Bowl player ever. Well, I don't know what it's like in second edition or back in the black and white times, but in the color era, this is the cheapest player we've seen. 15k, 5-1, 3+ agility, 5+ passing, and 6+ armor. So agility 3+ is exactly what we'd expect for a dodging Snotling. Pass 5+, make it a quick pass with agility, and then stunty is actually one less than it should be. But okay, they got dodge, right stuff, sidestep, stunty, swarming, and titchy, primary agility, secondary, general, no strength, and no passing for these guys. Ben, what do you think, man?
I think it's interesting. Like, it makes me think: are they any different to the Ogre Noblars, and will we see them come down to 15?
So, well, yeah. I mean, we haven't seen the Ogre list yet, so this is a spoiler. This is a picture that's been leaked, either on purpose or not on purpose. Let's start there, actually, Ben. Games Workshop, these leaks, on purpose or not on purpose?
No, they've got to be. They've got to be, I think, at this point. Like, I think that with the videos that came out with, like, the Necromantic team, which we'll also talk about later, they're quite well produced. And, like, obviously they've got all the miniatures painted up. Obviously, they would have had to do that to print out the books, I guess. But,
yeah,
I don't know. They'd have to be pretty on the ball making them. And I think they could do that. But they're reacting very fast to it. I feel there's got to be. It's not entirely... So, I think maybe it initially came out sooner than they wanted, but I think now they might be
preempting it a little bit. So Bloodtithe Ben there thinks it's an inside job. Guys in chat, let us know what you think. I actually don't. I think they're just trying to... I think they've had a pretty bad year. I think coronavirus and everything closing down has destroyed their release schedule. And I think this has actually happened sort of at hand because it doesn't feel very well controlled or very well. It's
no.
The timing of spoiling a new edition when you've got pending releases is bad, because his isn't great. You know, I imagine that the Snotlings were supposed to be out in like June or something, and then the new edition, you know, came a few months after. Yeah, there's always going to be an issue with the Spike magazine, but you know, at least that's a bit better than, you know, the new edition's released now, or is out now, so people are aware of what's coming. And if they release the Snotling team with a Spike magazine, you've got to assume it's going to hurt the sales. Not from me, but I think from a lot of players.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think it was definitely something that was out of their hands to begin with, but I do like how sort of they're damage controlling it and owning it, rather than just letting it be leaks and nothing else, and like shutting it down.
Yeah, maybe. Rob Williams Day says, Snotlings look fun. Do you think they'll be out before 2020? Maybe. Craig Nash.
I think it'll be a Christmas release.
Man, I don't know. Craig says, they look like the kind of team I would play when drunk. I will buy them, destined never to be played. So many Blood Bowl teams like that. He reckons next month Snotlings, October Necromantic, new edition, November time, I think. Stephen Loud thinks Games Workshop damage limitation. Yeah. Rob Williams says, could it be Cyanide? Working on third edition of working on Blood Bowl 3 and letting that info go out. It does look like it's come from like China print shop, is the most believable weather balloon of an explanation. And Zephyr in chat, Zephyr baby. Right, back on the Snotlings. So 15k, yes, Ben, I think they don't have disposable. We don't know if the Ogre Noblars are going to have disposable. These guys have got swarming instead. They have a special rule called low cost lineman. And I do wonder if that's going to replace disposable.
I've seen that a couple of times.
Yeah. In which case, I think that the Snotlings will probably be about the same price. Swarming has been spoiled to say that is, when you set up for a drive, you can set up an extra D3 players, which could be quite good. And when you've got so many edge. You know, well, so many strength 1 players. I think you're going to use them. I think you're going to need them. Okay, so that's 0 to 16. That's the lineman. They've got fungus flingers. These guys are so cool. This is 0 to 2, 30,000. That's expensive in the way of this team. 5-1, 3+ agility, 4+ passing, armor 6+, bombardier. Dodge, right stuff, secret weapon, sidestep, stunty. So these guys don't have Titchy, so they're not dodging everyone on a 2+, they're dodging everyone on a 3+. Okay, but you don't want to dodge with these guys because they're bombers, they're bombardier. 4+ passing, that's all right. You know, 4+, 5+, take a cheeky bomb throw. But my most favourite thing about these is primary skills, which is kind of the normal now, is normal and double is now primary and secondary, agility and passing. So you can give these guys Hail Mary pass.
Oh, that's such a big buff to a bomber, honestly.
I mean, it's not a great strategy. I'm not sure there is a great strategy with this team, but I feel like Hail Mary pass for a tiny little bomber, it kind of overcomes the strength differential. And that could be absolutely brilliant fun. There is a bit of tiny change to Hail Mary pass. It now says it doesn't work in a blizzard. I don't know if it used to have that rule, but it actually says in the new rule, doesn't work in a blizzard. So sometimes
I ever noticed it.
Yeah, maybe something's just been missed there. But yeah, these guys getting pass on a single is actually a really big deal.
It is, yeah.
We'll talk about Simar in chat says didn't work in a blizzard before. Well, I've had some cheeky goblin players pull the news on me. Jinder Singh in chat, hey, how you doing? Bonehead podcast. Given that Games Workshop works 3 to 4 years in advance, I'm guessing they have 70% of the work done. Models created, printed, painted to go on the box art. When a leak happens, they are ready. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Steve Green says October Necro has to be a Halloween launch. I blooming hope so, because we are running a tournament on Halloween. So that would be absolutely sweet. And Matt's
raises a good point as well regarding the leaks. Like, I feel they would have, like, even when you look at the video, that's a Halloween video. Like, it seems pretty early to release a video like that.
It must kind of suck a bit to have a game plan that you put in place. Probably, I mean, Snotlings probably should be out by now. It looks like that, and then this, and then lead up to the new edition, which may actually still be after Christmas. They've said holiday season, but I don't know. Matt's BBL says yes, I was right with Swarm. There we go. Okay, so Fungus Flingers, you get 2 of them. They're 30k each. They are secret weapon, however. So, but cheap bombardiers, 60k for 2. Great stuff.
Amazing.
Okay, we've got 0 to 2 Fun Hoppers. So those are the guys bouncing around on these little moons from Ocarina of Time. No, from Majora's Mask.
Yep.
They are 20k, movement 6, so 1 extra movement, strength 1, agility 3 plus, passing 5 plus, armor 6 plus. So they're a move 6 lineman, dodge, pogo stick, which is a new skill, right stuff, sidestep, and stunty. So no titchy on these guys. So they are dodging on a 3 plus, but they are also pogo sticking on a straight agility roll. So pogo stick has essentially replaced the skill leap. Leap is now available as a skill that has some modifiers that make it very similar to throw teammate landing, and all players can now leap essentially over prone players.
So they can jump.
Yeah, they can jump. So there's jumping, there's leaping, and there's pogo. Pogo is just agility forever. Don't worry about it. So this guy is 3 plus, flying over other guys at move 6. I don't know. I mean, 20k is 5k more than a lineman. You might as well. Just great fun.
I think it's a really nifty little player. I'm assuming pogo stick is extraordinary. Yeah.
Yeah,
you can't give the award answer pogo stick.
Oh man, just to get them back up in there. So those are fun hoppers. I like that. There's 2 stilty runners at 20k again, 6-1, 3 plus, 5 plus, 6 plus. Dodge, right stuff, sidestep, sprint, and stunty. So again, no titchy. So 3 plus dodging everywhere. They've got movement 6 and they come with sprint. So this is your movement 9 snotling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you look at movement 6, you think, okay, they've got 1 extra movement, and they've got sprint. That's quite good. But actually, that is movement 9. Assuming you don't roll any ones, movement 9 is huge when you've got these tiny little guys.
Gutter runner.
Yeah, gutter runner without the go for it. Definitely quite cool. Craig in chat says, didn't think of Hail Mary pass on the Bombers. Absolutely. Simar says, didn't work in a Blizzard before. Stephen Loud, what do you think for 7s? Ooh, we'll come to 7s. Hail Mary pass is a separate pass to short and quick, so didn't work in a Blizzard. And Johnny Dolan says, not a fan of the new Necro models. They are very Halloweeny, like Ben said. We'll come to
very, very Marmite at the moment, I think, in the community, but as is everything at the moment. So
there is a secret team that I think the new Necro team kind of unlocks, which is pretty cool.
Ooh,
yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah. Rev Timothy Hafner, how are you? What do you think of Blood Bowl 2020 leaks? Okay, and now we've got it, Ben. We've got the piece here that is the most exciting piece of all. We've been waiting to find out what these rules are like. Pump wagons, pump wagons, pump wagons, pump wagons, and unfortunately, they're not as good as we were expecting or hoping.
I know, but at least we get 2.
Oh, dude, right? Yeah, we do get 2. That's right. We were worried we were only going to get 1 for a while. We do get 2, and basically, they're a poor man's death roller, which is fine.
It's sad to see Secret Weapon.
Sad to see Secret Weapon. I'm just sad to not see Ball and Chain, because I tell you what, the Stunty League team where they're Ball and Chains are so much fun. However, these are still going to be great. So 105k, 4-5, 5 plus, no passing, and AV9, Dirty Player +1, Juggernaut, Mighty Blow +1, Really Stupid, Secret Weapon, Stand Firm. So, and Strength on a primary and Agility General on a secondary. These guys are they're strength 5 guys. They've got Juggernaut, so they can blitz okay. They're really stupid, which is bad, but is fair, representing a mob of snotlings driving something. I get it. Mm-hmm. Stand firm means they're going to be really useful for caging and for protecting your little guys. 105k, but yeah, like you say, Ben, Secret Weapon.
Yeah, they have the same issue as Death Roller. Fortunately, they cost like
half
way
the
less.
Price, yeah.
Yeah. So that is nice.
Yeah.
And like they don't really do much less than a Death Roller does. So
they really don't. I think the Death Roller might come with break tackle.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
These guys could use break tackle seriously.
Yeah, I can see that. I still like them though, and I think like we'll talk about it when we finish the roster a bit, but you just would take them because everything else is so cheap, right?
Oh, like you've got the cash to do it.
Exactly.
You're exactly right. And we got 0-2 trained trolls. So these are the new trolls. 115,000, 4-5, 5 plus, 5 plus, 10 plus, always hungry, loner on a 3 plus, so slightly less lonely than the other big guys. Mighty Blow 1, projectile vomit, which is the new skill that's been confirmed to be essentially a poor man's chainsaw. but that's not bad. Really stupid, regeneration and throw teammate strength, and they actually do get passing on a secondary, as well as agility and general. Team rerolls are 60k each. Tier 3, they can get an apothecary, and here are the special rules for this team. We don't exactly know what they are, but we can mull them over. Bribery and corruption. The Goblin team also has that, so I'm going to assume that means half-price bribes, Ben.
I would guess exactly that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Low-cost lineman, we don't know. I reckon that's got either the linemen get replaced for free or disposable comes into effect. That would be my guess. And Underworld Challenge, which also the Underworld team has, or the Goblin or the Skaven team. I think that's a keyword for star players.
Oh, do you reckon that's how they're doing star player access now?
Quite possibly.
Keywords.
I don't know. So maybe, or maybe there's something, because there's like the Old World Club and stuff. It's an interesting way of, there's some stuff there. Craig Nash says he likes the way the rules are shaping up. Damage limitation. Bravo to Games Workshop, in my opinion. Part of me wants the leaks to stop. It's too much too soon. Absolutely. Ben Davey. Love all the models seen this week. Hope the Snotling's delayed until March just to annoy Ben. It's not just me.
I cry.
It's not just me. Lucas, 2020 Almanac would be the best with so many new teams. Yeah, this book is going to be so much fun. If it comes out Christmas time, it's going to be just a great Christmas read.
Oh, yeah, I know. And hobby, like, you have 2 teams to play out.
Man, at least 2 teams. Zephyr says, do you think we'll get a new troll? Nah, we're still waiting for the second troll originally, aren't we? Just get the Age of Sigmar trolls.
The box of 3.
The Troggoth guys.
Forever.
They're brilliant. Yeah. That's your 2 trolls and a star player troll. Superb.
Yeah.
Simar, no way after the 4 draw got trolls for goblins. Craig Nash, 2020 will be Ogres, Underworld in the next 2 drops. Dino, Titan Edition. Best YouTube name I've seen in a while. Probably the same thing like Noblers and the Ogre team, I reckon so. Ben says, that makes sense. Don't call out towards TV. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Maybe the troll is out in Forge World. I'm not sure. So, Ben, this team here, I think you called it. I think you're going to have so much cash. I think if disposable is there and your Snotling linemen are free, you're only going to be taking 6 to 8 of them. But that's enough to get 2 to 3 bribes every game, and you got 2 bombers and 2 mini death rollers. I think that's fair, and I think what you end up with is a 2 troll team with another troll and another troll. I just don't know how they're going to play. I think the fun hoppers and the stilty runners are going to be really good.
Yeah, I think so. I think those stilties are really going to be underrated.
Movement 9.
Yeah.
Movement 9. It's just superior. You've got 2 trolls. You've got pump wagons. So you can cage up pretty nicely. You've got a bunch of guys with sidestep. Everybody knows if you've played against an ogre team, man, sidestep, it's really annoying. They will dodge around. They will get in the way. And even though the new jump rules, you can jump over them, most players' agility, that's a risk. That's a serious risk to take. 4 plus, 3 plus.
Because, like, Rich lately, who else was it who was recently playing a Noblar only team on an ogre?
That was me.
Or was it you?
Yeah.
I swear, no, you did as well. Someone else did. I swear we talked to them recently on the podcast.
It's great fun.
It's relatively viable, right?
It's really good.
Yeah, and this is now one of those teams with a bunch more. I think they could be pretty good.
Yeah. I think this would do very well comparatively. Yeah. It is tier 3 and they're all going to die, and you're going to be giving SPP away hand over fist. But you've got loads of guys in reserve and you've got a load of fun stuff, and your TV is going to be low. You're going to have the opportunity probably for star players. If you look at some of the stars, if they've got some of the Underworld stars that are available, Skitter, Stab, Hackflame, Shuttle Spike, this team's going to be brilliant. This team could be really good for tournament. I mean, that's probably a stretch, but it could be fun to play at a tournament.
We'll definitely see it at least. I think it's going to be quite a popular tournament team.
Oh, well,
it's just silly carnage. That's what everyone loves.
It's going to be an absolutely fun team. Anyway, there is a couple of questions in the chat. Ben Davis says, just needs to know what the loner rating is for Old World Alliance. We haven't seen that one yet. Absolutely. Johnny Dolan says, what secret lead team did you guys say the Necros unlocked then? The Golem team. The Golem team is a very cool team on the secret teams. They've got 0 to 4 golems, a bunch of zombies, 2 different types of zombies, and the different types of zombie models that the Necro team is coming out with could you use to represent those really easily. But you need to find some giant hands, which is
not too difficult.
Yeah, I think you could do it.
If you get one of those troll boxes for your trolls for your Snotling team, then you'll have a bunch of spare hands.
Oh, troll hands, Ben, that's genius. I have a box of troll parts. Oh, great.
Yeah, you get loads of spare hands.
Ooh, another option for Mega Ball. This is wicked. So, Snotling teams, they look great. They look like they're going to be really interesting to play. It just looks like another stunty challenge with some great models. The pump wagons are going to be rubbish compared to what they could have been, but they're still going to be fun. And quite frankly, Dirty Player +1, Mighty Blow +1, Juggernaut Strength 5 guys, they're still going to hurt stuff. And then your little Snotlings, because you've got 14 of them on the pitch sometimes, they're going to get gang fouls. It's going to be a dirty player. It's going to be a dirty team. And I, for one, cannot wait. And the models look so much fun.
They do.
That's what I'm so excited about. It's just the models look so much fun. And one thing I can see is some kind of pump wagon league where everybody gets a pump wagon or something. I don't know. Just thinking about it. So that is the Snotlings. Unfortunately, I had guessed that there was going to be an announcement today saying they're up for pre-order. They weren't. You just got a bunch of Underworld stuff instead, which is sad. So here's
you mentioned
go for it.
You mentioned gang foul. I'm wondering, because it's bribery and corruption, I'm wondering if they'll have any new foul rules.
Ooh.
Or like being sent off or something like that.
Maybe, actually.
Like arguing with the ref and arguing the call. I wonder if it gets better if you're one of those teams to sort of encourage you to... I know the bribes kind of tie into that, but I'm wondering if they'll take it a step further.
We got a couple of bits in chat. Harjinder Singh says, I think the Ghosts let down the new team, and I don't think anything AOS could replace it. The Nighthaunt are too villainous for Blood Bowl. Fair enough. They are quite villainous looking. I would probably just take a couple of Banshee models. The Mermorn Banshees are great models if you want alternative Ghost sculpt. Matt's BBL says maybe the faction keywords like Underworld Challenge will let you get mercs, trade or sell players. Oh, from other similarly aligned teams. Matt BBL, just quit your job, go work for Games Workshop because I like the way you're thinking.
That's a very cool idea.
Yeah. The race on the Necromantic team are an amazing idea. Take those blitzing whites out and bring these in. Okay, we're going to go to Necro in just a sec. Snotlings will take over Stunty Leagues if Black Orcs aren't allowed. Interesting. Will Black Orcs be allowed? They are.
I think they're on the same league as Lizardmen, right?
Yeah, which means you can take a Lizardman team normally in Stunty, but no Croxigals. So a Black Orc team will just be a very bad Goblin team at that point, which is a shame.
They got 6 gold.
Yeah. Ben says Snotlings is going to be good. Me looks like Black Orcs grab will be counter meta then. Absolutely. But you grab does not stop a 2+ tiny dodge away. So that's pretty good. Dino Titan. Have a question. Snotlings can field more than 11 players, right? What about this rule? If you spot it and call it, they're ejected. Wouldn't that apply? We're going to assume that the swarming rule says cannot be, ruined. Johnny says, what's the swarming skill? The swarming skill is when you set up for a drive, you're all a D3 and you are allowed to deploy that many extra players. So we've got to hope that, like Dino Titan said, it's allowed in the rules. I assume it would be, but I think that I bet you £1 English that's going to be FAQ'd. I'm calling it now in August. That's going to need an FAQ.
Yeah, I won't blame you.
Yeah, right. Let's look at the Necro team. So we've got necromantic horror teams here. We've got a good scan of this. This one's got letters. This makes it very easy.
Yeah, this is very clean.
Yeah, so let's have a look at the models first. So I'm sure if you're listening to the podcast on Monday morning when you drive to work, you've seen these models, but if you haven't, we're going to try our very best to describe them. So there's 4 zombies models in this kit. 3 zombie models, sorry. And one of them is posed very much like a Michael Jackson video. Okay, it's like one of them is doing the Thriller pose. Another zombie lineman is just looks like a running catcher, which is very momentous for a movement 4 player, but that's okay. And there is another one that looks very much like a scarecrow. There's 2 masks. One's a pumpkin head, and one is a sack face, basically, that looks like, what's the guy from Batman? Scarecrow. Okay, well that's.
Yeah.
There you go. I wonder why he's called that. Okay, so they've got those. The ghouls, however, are interesting. They don't look exactly the same size, same shape. They've got the same kind of aesthetic as the ghouls from Undead, but they've got very different heads. One of them is wearing a pumpkin as a helmet, and I can't remember what the other one looks like. But what it will do is it will allow you to have another couple of ghouls for your undead team as well. And what we've seen in this set is that everything comes with a different head, which is really cool. So there's multiple heads. I know it seems like a really low bar and something to get excited about, but it just seems like something they should have done originally, and this is going to be really cool. And that's not even the coolest bit. We've finally got a werewolf.
Yes.
And the
I've been
werewolf,
wanting one of these for a while.
it looks pretty good.
I like it.
It looks live. It looks werewolfy. It looks strength 3, maybe strength 4. It's not massive. The downside of necro teams recently is you've either got a very 2D werewolf, or you've got a werewolf that just legitimately looks like it should be on a 40mm base. This one is bang on. Looks like an Orc Blitzer size. Looks really cool. And then we got flesh golems, which are my favourite models. This just looks like, I don't know, like a slightly scaled down ogre with a very Frankenstein effect, which makes sense because that's exactly what they are.
And the pose is really spot on for these guys. I think these are awesome models, the flesh golems.
I love the flesh golems. That's why I said I can see these unlocking that secret team, the golem team, because I could run 4 of these and a bunch of zombies and be very happy with how my team looked. You got alternate heads. You got a great paint job. I think it's just going to be really, really, really great. Oh, I can't quite see the chat. I've lost a few messages there. Sorry, guys. Scarecrow is the best mini in Blood Bowl. Yeah, Scarecrow is pretty cool. I saw someone draw 2 guns on his hands earlier and say they're going to use them for Necromunda, which I think is going to be really, really, really cool. The other head is a helmet for the ghoul. Yep. Craig Nash says, don't know, the new Brits are delicious. Simar, WW is the biggest letdown for me. Golems are neat, though. It's one of those things, almost all the players from the box set and the Necros had 2 different heads. Yes, Ben's exactly right. So of the... it certainly looks like this team they've got alternate pieces for, which is very, very, very good. It's nice to see. Stephen Loud. I want the 2nd edition Werewolf Treeman Piddle rule back. So Ben, have you heard about this?
No.
Apparently there was a rule back in 2nd edition where if a werewolf was on the pitch as a tree man, it basically had to take a test or run up to it and take a pee on it.
Wow.
I know. It's
like
so
Bloodlust, but specifically for that interaction.
Yeah. Just marking its territory, which I think is very cool. So
that's hilarious.
I'm very up for that. So there is a special super secret new positional been released as well. I don't have the picture for it just here. And it's a very divisive piece, and that is the Wraith. So what we're going to do is just talk through the changes for the team. So Zombie Lineman, 40k, 4-3, 4+, no passing. AV 9+, so still armor 9 and regeneration with primary of general and secondary of agility and strength. So zombies can no longer pass, Ben, and I'm sad about it.
It's odd. I'm not sure why that's there. I can see them being bad at it, but not doing it is...
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's a bit of a shame, and it's probably one of my biggest concerns with this new edition is everyone loves an underdog, and allowing a zombie lineman to throw on a 6+, I think would have been absolutely fine for game balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt's BBL straight in there in chat. Going to have to house rule that dash to mean a 6+. So. Absolutely. Craig Nash says, point to note might be the Wraiths, no picture on the box. Could these be forged like the Assassins? Because it looks like the box will be what the box art is. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to assume those are going to come in the box. So we've got the zombies. We've got 2 ghouls, 0 to 2 ghouls, 75. So the ghouls have gone up 5k, 7, 3, 3+, 4+. So slightly worse than average throwing there. They've got lineman throwing skill, armor 8+ and dodge. Same skills as before, AG/PS. So the ghoul got 5 more expensive, and it's throwing as well as a human lineman. This team cannot throw, but movement 7 dodge is decent. Wraiths have changed. So Wraiths used to be whites on this roster, and the white was the same as from the Undead team, which was essentially just a slower human blitzer with regenerate.
Yep.
the wraiths are now ghosts. Okay, actual ghosts. 95k, 6-3, 3 plus, so 3 plus agility, no passing, armor 9 plus. Okay, so 6-3, 3 plus, armor 9. So human lineman stats at the moment with a bunch of skills. Block, foul appearance, regeneration, and sidestep. Sounding like a pretty great player right now, but it does also have no hands. So it is a ghost that sidesteps around. You get a foul appearance to punch it in the face. It can still block. It's got regenerate. It's got general and strength on a primary. So you're going to be easily getting up to that sidestep guard block piece. That is going to pair beautifully well with the werewolves, right?
Oh, definitely. I think like it just adds more to what they had before, and I think. Yeah, I just think they're going to be really annoying pieces, more so than the whites used to be.
Absolutely. Now, the lack of hands is going to mean that this roster has a maximum potential of 4 players that can pass.
Yeah, I don't think that matters too much. Like, undead manage with just 4 ghouls, really, right?
4 ghouls and 2 whites, and those whites have arms. And they're
Yeah.
agility 3 in current Blood Bowl. So it's going to be interesting. A sidestep block foul appearance piece, I think, does make up for the replacement of the white. It does make it more unique, and I think that's what a couple of people are saying in chat. What do you mean you're buying a second box of 2 zombies? Nah. Wraiths tone down Necros a lot. Yeah, it's interesting. It makes the team more unique and means the only crossover piece for the undead team is the ghoul and the zombie.
I don't know. I would just say it tones it down. I'd say I prefer this player to the white. I don't think the hands is that much of a nerf, because I think the werewolves and ghouls still carry the ball better anyway. Like, you'd want them to have the ball.
Yeah,
I don't think it matters. And having foul appearance, sidestep, and regen, because I don't think whites have regen, do they?
yeah, the whites do have regen.
They do have regen. Okay.
I think you're right. I think what this does is it makes this team more brawly than it used to be. Simar says lack of hands to carry. Removes redundancy and pretty much forces a 2 ghoul setup every time. Absolutely. That's kind of, you had 6 players to work with. Now you've got a maximum of 4. Secutus, though, in chat with the hot take, I believe it's been confirmed you can still hand off with a PA of dash, and that's almost passing. Yeah, I mean, that's what Ben was getting at, is that, you know, you really don't want to be passing as very often anyway, and they can still hand off the ball, so you're not massively limited. It's just that exciting thing. So yeah, you got 2 ghouls to move the ball, and then you got wraiths with sidestep and block who are going to work really well in conjunction with either your frenzy werewolves or the strength 4 flesh golems.
Yeah,
I think these guys just got more brawly. I think they are tier 2. The screen also, yeah, they're rated as a tier 2 team, and I think that's right. I don't think they are as good as undead, but I think they are different now, and I think they were, you know, the only thing that felt really that different about them before is that they had some weak mummies and some werewolves, and the werewolves are really cool. It was basically the werewolf team, but you had to give up mummies. Now it's the werewolf team with some weak mummies and some ghosts that support, and I don't know, I think it's going to be really interesting. It's almost a new team because of the way it's built.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to give it a go, definitely.
The guys in chat saying that the Warhammer community article had 14 player pictures for Wolfenberg Crypt Stealers, so hopefully we'll have another undead team with 14 players. Those zombies don't take up a lot of sprue space when you let all the flesh rot away, so that's useful. Right, werewolves, 125k, so gone up 5k, 8-3, 3 plus, 4 plus, 9 plus, claws, frenzy, regenerate, AGPS, so they've gone up 5k and their passing is 4 plus. 0-2 flesh golems, 115k. I think they've gone up 5k as well. Movement 4, strength 4, agility 4 plus, no passing, armor 10 plus, regeneration, stand firm, and thick skull. That hasn't changed either. 0-8 rerolls of 70k each, and Masters of Undeath and Sylvanian Spotlight as their special rules, which I'm going to assume Masters of Undeath is like the Necromancer rule, but I don't actually know, so we'll have to see.
I'm really keen to see all these special rule things. I think it's really interesting, especially if I think when you said access to stars really got me excited. So now I'm probably going to be disappointed, but
yeah, maybe I've got a couple of things right, but I'm not everything. I don't know. It depends on how they've done this. It could just be I don't know. It could be keywords. Could be actual skills. What have we got in chat? Question wise, much harder to level and help if a player with hands gets removed. That's true. They're going to be relying just on casualties. There's no completions and no touchdowns to be going for. Ben Davies says, I think Necros are now better in leagues, but maybe worse in tournament play as they are more expensive now. Yes, they are. Werewolves, best player in the game. Never mind the pointy ears. Brownorama. Dayan, how you doing? Off
Love
topic. Would you add werewolves or ghouls to the vampires team? Ooh. What is it the vampires need, Ben?
I think I wouldn't add werewolves for theme because they historically don't work that well together, right?
Yeah, someone needs to go and watch Underworld there.
Yeah. I think if you're going theme, I'd add whites because they basically are baby vampires, right? But the I don't know. Ghouls fit well on the team, to be honest, as to be the squishy ball runners that lets your vampires do all the bashing.
Yeah, I can see all the wraiths actually, or just some kind of undead thing. I like the idea of having zombies on an undead team. That's why I like the von Carstein team from the Secret League.
Always get confused with them.
Yeah, I know. They get zombies as well, which are an interesting choice, given that the actual linemen are 40k as well. But it's just fun. It's just fun. What do we got here? Matt BBL says ghouls feed a human vampire blood and you get a ghoul. All right. Johnny Dolan, have they nerfed Claw? Yeah, Claw got slightly nerfed. It doesn't stack with anything now. Now it just reads, if you roll an 8 on 2 dice, you break the armor no matter what's going on, unless they have the anti-Claw new rule, which I can't remember if it's got a name yet. Or I think it just might be like Steely Hide or something. I need to learn that one. But yeah, Claw got slightly worse in that it doesn't rank up with Mighty Blow. But I think the fact that we've seen Mighty Blow with a number in parentheses after it means that you're going to be able to rank up Mighty Blow. Which I think I'd rather take Mighty Blow 2 than Mighty Blow and Claw now.
Yeah, I think so. It works against more things, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think numerically double Mighty Blow works better, but Claw might be more useful. Again, it depends on your league, which is nice because before it was just you take Mighty Blow, then you take Claw in whichever order you can get them.
Yeah.
Now there are multiple skills. What else have we got in chat? We've got some other bits there. Will we get Frankenstein back? Yeah, I think Frankenstein was in the Blood Bowl 2016 rules set, so I can imagine him as a star player will be happening. So that is it for the necromantic stuff, which I think is quite cool. I think they've taken a team and they've made it different than it used to be.
Yeah, indeed.
I
think any if you've got like existing necromantic teams, I don't think it'll be too difficult to change. I don't think they've really made any difficult changes on that.
Someone did this in the Blood Bowl community today. They just took their old white models and just painted them as ghosts.
I mean, yeah, that works.
So there was a literally, it was just like here's a before with them painting as armor, and here's them now with Nihilak Oxide and ghosts.
Yeah.
Immediately resolved, which I thought is pretty cool. Right, so what we're going to have a look at now, just very, very quickly, is the notorious JTB has put together and has been tracking all of the leaks as a really good reference. I'll put the link in the video and the show notes on the podcast so you can catch up and have a look. We've talked about most of this already, Ben, but I thought it might be useful just to go through and pick out a couple of things that have come out in the last few days, if that's all right with you.
No problem.
Okay, cool. So we've seen the new teams. We've seen the Imperial Nobles. We've seen Black Orcs. We've seen the Necro change. We've seen the Snotlings land-ish. We've talked through passing, get its own stat, but yes, it has been confirmed now that passing dash can still hand off. They can still do stuff with the ball, which is very useful. Yep. So passing the ball rules, everybody's now got a passing stat. And a couple of things changed I think we did talk about, which is that there's no +1 pass anymore. It's just 0, -1, -2, -3 for the different ranges. Plus -1 for tackle zones. I guess that's something else to talk about, is they've just changed the wording ever so slightly to say that if a player is marked, it means inside an opposing player's tackle zone. If they're open, it means they're not in any tackle zones, which is just a way of writing the rules that I actually quite liked.
Yeah.
Now there's an extra step of passing, an extra outcome of passing. So there's accurate passes. If the passing ability test is passed, or if a natural 6 is rolled, the pass is accurate and the ball will land in the target square inaccurate passes. If it's failed, the pass is inaccurate and the ball will scatter from the target square. Wildly inaccurate. If the dice roll is a 1 after modifiers have been applied, the ball will deviate from the square occupied by the throwing player. And fumbled is a natural 1. It's just fumbled in the square and the world ends like it always has done.
So what's the difference, sorry, between wildly inaccurate and fumbled?
Well, from the seam, well, it says will scatter. So if we think the scatter is still the D8 3 times, it sounds like a wildly inaccurate pass is even worse than a cheeky fumble. And there is a change to one of your favourite skills, Ben. Safe throw.
Ooh, okay.
A safe throw now doesn't do what you think it does. Safe throw literally just says if you fumble the ball, you don't fumble the ball.
Wow. That's very good.
Well, actually, it's called safe pass, isn't it? I think that was the skill originally.
Okay.
Yeah. Safe pass. Should this player fumble a pass action, the ball is not dropped, does not bounce from the square, this player occupies, and no turnover is caused. Instead, the player retains possession of the ball and their activation ends.
But they can still wildly inaccurately throw it, right?
It does read like that, but of course, this is just the stuff we're getting from the spoilers. But the skill they used to have is now called Cloudburster. When this player performs a long pass action or a long bomb, you may choose to make the opposing coach re-roll a successful attempt to interfere with the pass.
Yeah, so split them up then. Split the skill up into two separate ones. Really.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't remember them being all that good because, well, you're the only person, I think, in England that's ever run a high elf team.
It came up a lot. The fumble on a where it used to be you only fumbled it on a natural one.
Yeah.
That came up a lot.
I think you were doing it wrong, Ben.
Was I?
No, just if your thrower is fumbling the ball all the time, you're like, wow, what a great skill. No. I think you might just want to take nerves of steel there, man. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'd take a 4+ pass to be a good pass.
Your high elf team had an absolutely awful time, didn't it? So
yeah, I'm great.
Here we go. We got some more bits in chat. No, apothecary, but ghouls don't get regeneration. Ghouls do not get regeneration anyway. Andy Crook says, love the fact you get 2 bomber snotlings there. Primary pass for Hail Mary fun. Absolutely, right there with you. And then we've got some other chat about Craig Lash. High elves, are they even a thing? Who plays high elves? Well, you know what? We don't know that they're going to be a thing as we move forward. We don't know that about quite a few teams. And we'll probably wrap up with that little bit of doom and gloom. But there's a couple of things else to go over. Too many players, the guys already mentioned. We talked about that before, which is if you start a drive and your opponent notices that you've got more than 11 players, they get to choose one to be sent off for committing a foul. Which I like. It's just kind of solidified a rule that TOs ended up having to play with most of the time.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about the altered kickoff last episode. Prayers to Nuffle. We talked about some of that, I think. So skills. I think there's a couple of other bits to talk through. Pro has changed ever so slightly. It's now on a 3+, but you basically you can try to reroll 1 dice, either a single roll or 1 from a dice pool. So if you're taking a 2-die block, you pro it, you just re-roll 1 of those dice. So if you go push, you can re-roll that using pro, and you just re-roll 1 of the pushes instead of both.
That's awesome.
That is much
so
better.
Good.
However, once this player has attempted to use this skill, they may not use a re-roll from any other source to re-roll this 1 dice. I don't know if that means you can't use a team re-roll to re-roll pro, or whether once you've re-rolled the dice, you can't re-roll it again with a different one. I don't know. Guys in chat says, don't worry, those teams will be coming. Missing 6 are coming. Just give Games Workshop time. Let's hope. Let's hope so. There's a lot of nervous vampire players out there, and Amazons and Norse. A lot of nervous coaches there. So what else have we seen in the last few days that has changed, or that we've noticed change? Iron Hard Skin is the skill I mentioned earlier, which is the claws skill cannot be used when making an armor roll against this player. 2 heads, very long legs. So very long legs. Let's talk jumping and bouncing and bounding now, Ben.
Yeah, Yeah, I love this change a lot.
So let me see if we can find jump, 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 jump rules. Here we go. This should take us to, yeah, it does. Brilliant. I love it when a plan comes together. Right, so jumping over. So you can now, as any player in the world ever, jump over a prone or stunned player as if you had leap, essentially.
Yes.
But it's like, so what I'm saying there is if you have leap, because if you have leap now, which is you can jump over the player and you can jump over 2 squares, etc., etc. They've got cool little diagrams that show how it works. To jump over a square that contains a prone or stunned player, a player must test against their agility. The agility test is made after the jumping player has been moved, rushing first if necessary. So rushing is now go for it. Terminology's changed there. Apply a negative modifier equal to the number of players that were marking the jumping player in the square they jumped from, or equal to the number of players that are marking the jumping player in the square they've jumped to, whichever is the greatest. So let's rephrase that into current Blood Bowl. Basically, you leap with your agility, but you get a modifier equal to the most tackle zones, either in your old square or your new square.
Whichever is higher.
Whichever is higher. Whichever is higher. And if you have the leap skill, you reduce that down by 1, just because you're good at leaping. And if you have very long legs, I think you reduce it down by 1 as well. So that's all kind of reasonable. What does it say here? They're not required to dodge if you jump out. If the jumping player was open in the square they have jumped from and is open in the square they've jumped to, there are no modifiers for being marked. However, there may be modifiers for other reasons. If the agility is failed, the jumping player will fall over in the square they've jumped into. If it is failed on a natural 1, so if they fumble the jump, basically, the jumping player is placed back in the square they were trying to jump from, and they will fall over in that square. And we can assume that is you fall over and die. Leap. So, the leap skill. During their movement, instead of jumping over a single square that is occupied by a prone or stunned player as described, a player with this skill may choose to leap over any single adjacent square, including unoccupied squares and squares occupied by standing players. Amusingly, I think that still means something like a giant, which I'd like to see that. That would be very, very, very dramatic.
Oh, that's heroic.
I know. Heroic leap. That's the next edition.
Yeah.
Additionally, this player may reduce any negative modifier applied to the agility test by 1 to a minimum of -1. So I think Ben Davey pointed this out when this spoiler first happened. Is what essentially that means is that leap is always going to be at a -1 if you're leaping over somebody, which I think is fine. So because agility, generally speaking, has gone up by 1 compared to how it used to be, it just brings it back in line. So a leaping wall dancer going from one tackle zone to another tackle zone is going to be doing it on a 3+ like it used to. Which is fine. The pogo skill, basically you do all of that, but you ignore all negative modifiers, and they can't get leap because they've got that skill. So that's cool. I like the way that works. It was introduced, I think, in the olden days for Dungeon Bowl, so I'm hopeful that this means that somewhere down the line we're going to get Dungeon Bowl expansion. But hey,
I mean, it seems compatible.
It seems definitely compatible. Simar says, not looking hot for my beloved teams. High Elves, Vampires, Slan, Kislev, Bretonnians. Nobles are not the same thing, he says. They're not. They're probably as close as we're going to get in official Games Workshop land. Jump up. Jump could be one of my entries for the next spell competition. Interesting. Catch opponent, eat them perfect for trolls, just throw them into the crowd. Maybe I'm crazy. Vampires seem such a simple team to add into the game. All Games Workshop can do is add to it. Unless for some reason they think Hypno is too fun. Yeah. Games Workshop will miss out a ton of cash if they don't finally produce the Slan team. If I was a board member, I would be aghast that they have not taken the chance to print money. Right. Slan, if Games Workshop are producing Zotes, they're producing Squats, they're producing Ambles, I would be very surprised if it's not on their list somewhere. Now, it's a very small team for Blood Bowl, but you've got to assume that at some point they are just gonna land a Slan team, because it's a very iconic thing. I think
it's so different as well, right?
Yeah, it's really different. They may decide that the Slan just don't fit into the Blood Bowl world, but there's a load of stuff in Blood Bowl. I think they could probably find a place for. Basically, they've got Lizardmen. This is just more froggish Lizardmen.
Blood Bowl is reserved for Halloween spooks and washing sheets and laundry and stuff.
That's exactly it. The ghosts are fine, but frogmen aren't. That's I don't know. We can hope. But hey, they can't even produce a Croxagore right now. So,
Very true.
I'm sure they're doing their absolute best. Right. What else to talk about, Ben? What else has come out in the last few days? We've had a few team lists. I'm not going to go into because you can find the spoilers for those. But basically, the summary is that passing got better for throwers and worse for everybody else. Okay, so originally we saw the new addition, we saw the new passing stat, and we thought, man, throwers are going to be sweet. Passing is going to be way better. And I think if you're running throwers, then your team is going to get much better at passing. If you're not running throwers, then your team's going to get much worse at passing, because basically a human lineman is now throwing on a 4+, a human thrower is throwing on a 2+. So basically throwers got one better, everybody else got at least one worse, and positionals tend to have got two worse in most places. So the Wood Elf team, the rules for them came out, and basically apart from the thrower, everyone is bad at throwing because it's a 4+. I think there might have been a 3+ in there somewhere, but and Simar says sadly Noble Thrower is a running joke. Yeah, he is only a 3+. So what we've seen is, we said the passing stat was going to be a opportunity to explore some design space, and that's what we're seeing already. In some of these teams, the passing game is now not necessarily reserved for teams or for specific players, but it's just going to be exciting, and you're going to want a thrower, whereas before you weren't always that fussed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. Matt's PPL says the undead passing game is dead. Yep, I don't know if they're going to bring that one back from the grave. Right.
I was too fast to take in. Two in one.
multiple puns. Okay, so here's another hot take that has not been substantiated yet in any way, shape, or form, but is looking like it's going to be happening. The Lizardman roster has not dropped yet. We've not seen the leak, so I think the leaks have probably stopped now. I think we're going to be left hanging on some of these teams. Yeah, but there is a skill called On the Ball. This player, basically, it combines kickoff return and pass block. Okay. Do you know what player had pass block that no one ever used it for?
Is that the chameleon?
The chameleon skink just became the Lizardman ball carrier, essentially. Before, no one was taking them because they were rubbish. There's one less movement. They had a rubbish skill that no one ever used. They had shadowing as well. It wasn't really great. They weren't brilliant. They were a unique design. Now, basically, they come and start with kickoff return, which I think is probably worth taking one on the team. So I think, and I reckon, another £1 bet here, that they are going to have a 3+ passing stat for the community. No, actually, no. They're stunty. They'll have a 4+ passing stat, but the skinks will have a 5+. I think they'll have one better than the standard skinks on passing. And I think the chameleon skinks will come into their own as the best of a bad situation.
That would definitely sort of encourage you to take them more than you currently would now, right?
Absolutely. And I think if we see that land and they do retain that skill, or at least they get on the ball, we're going to find a use for them, and they're going to be ubiquitous. The Skaven thrower is going to be ubiquitous now. You mostly took him anyway, but you didn't have to. It's too good not to take now, and I think we're going to find exactly the same thing with the chameleon skink. So that's really cool.
Revise our Bonehead basic Skaven, I think now.
Oh, that was out the window even before we released it. Like a good week of me thinking, oh no, I remember one of my opening words is there's not enough news from Games Workshop, and then the world ended. So on skills and things, we've seen an incredibly different SPP chart. It used to be 6, 16, 31, 51, 76, 176. That's all gone. We haven't seen all the rules, but you've got a menu of choices now where you can spend your SPP. So for your first skill, it's 3 SPP, but you can take a random skill. It's 6 SPP, and you can get you can choose one from your normal or primary skills, and it goes up like that. There's a smorgasbord of choices, but the most pressing thing is that skill sets are now 12s. Each of the skills we've seen so far, so I think general, strength, mutations, there's 12 of each, which I think is there to enable that random element. Yeah, Craig Nash in chat just said Lyman scores a touchdown. Might as well just give him a random skill. How do you feel about the SPP changes, Ben?
I really like it, and I'm thinking for stunties, right? Because now you're not forced to level up your stunty player and bloat your team and give him like a skill you kind of didn't want, or fire him. You can just keep the XP on them, right? The SPB, and then suddenly they gain the top tier, and you can like pick a double skill or something, or a stat up.
Yeah,
you can roll a stat up on your stunty player if they eventually get to that, and it's awesome.
So it does say take a random stat up, so you can't choose which stat up you take.
Yeah.
We're hoping that there's an option for you to check it down. So if you took a tree man and you rolled it and you got, I don't know, armor, that it would give you the option to take a normal skill instead. That would make sense, but also there is no D12 unless they're going to introduce a D12, which we didn't see in the box set. We saw D16. We can assume that they're going to do something fun with 13, 14, 15, and 16 as well. So say hopefully. I'm going to choose a random general skill, but I roll a 16. You may still get some kind of stat. You may still get something else. It could just be pick from the list, and that's fine. But I don't know. We don't know what that is, but it's going to be really interesting to see.
The only downside is, if you do want to do that on your stunty player, you roll your stat up and they get strength. You're adding 80k for your strength 3 player, which seems quite steep, right? Yeah,
massive. So Ben has segued into the next thing, which is the improvement costs have changed. So primary skill, a random primary skill is 10k. A primary skill chosen is 20. A secondary skill chosen randomly is 20k, and a secondary skill chosen is 40k. So interesting. Armor 10k, movement and passing 20k, agility 40k, and strength 80k. It did originally look like it could have been 50 still, but it's apparently we've had a second leak that's clarified that.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's going to be. I just don't know how it's going to work. We need the rest of the pages. We need to see if there's a way to transfer your old league teams across. I do think it works good for like a tournament system, and that's what I think, because all the teams have been given tiers. I think they're going to say tier 1 gets this many SPP, tier 2 gets this many SPP, tier 3 gets this many SPP, and you can assign them to give your players skills. That's what I think they'll do, and I can see a lot of TOs doing something like that. Definitely not including the random thing. But maybe they will. I don't know. Maybe you do. You choose, I'm going to do random skills on all these players, and the TO rolls them for you. I'm not sure.
It would really differentiate league and tournament play, I think, because I really don't think you're going to see many strength 4 players anymore. I think it gives a lot more value to players like Lizard, Saurus, and Blackhawks. I think suddenly a strength 4 piece is now really valuable. Yeah, right?
You're not going to get them very often, and they are going to be very special when you do. Yeah, you're exactly right. Got a couple of things here. It says Stuart Legg says kickoff return, or rather on the ball, works around the issues skinks have picking up the ball, i.e. it's a 3+ with no rerolls. However, if you can get a chameleon skink under the ball, you get a free chance to catch it before the drive begins. Stuart, you're exactly right. And the cool thing about this SPP system is, I think it's 9 SPP for a double that you get to choose. Your skinks and things like that, they get touchdowns. You're going to be able to, you can then go, you get 3 SPP. You can say, I'm going to take a random agility skill. Don't do that. You can save up and then you can pick one at 6k, or take a random secondary skill, I think, or maybe that's a 9 or 12 SPP. I can't remember, but you can bank enough for you to absolutely build the player the way you want to build him. You just might have to wait longer. Whereas if you're gung-ho, you can be like, I'll just get a random agility skill. And you can end up with something really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Stephen Loud says, I love Ben's optimism on his Snotlings getting so much SPPs.
Hey, they're gonna get loads.
All right. The Bombardier guy. He's passing on a 4 plus. Okay, so that's not terrible. You can get one glory SPP, and assuming the MVP still exists and is still allocated, there's a chance you can get him those sweet 6 SPP if you were to choose Hail Mary pass after just one game. He's probably going to die, but you know.
I don't know. I mean, especially if he gets Hail Mary pass before he dies, he'll never die. You just hang him back.
Just
He's safe.
deploys at the back of the field. He's got 13 other players up there in the way, and he's just
Yeah,
2
one hell
plus
of a throwing arm.
bombs. Yeah, and the great thing is you can have both because it doesn't count as passing.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's very exciting. There's a couple of other skills I think that we hadn't seen or we haven't talked through. Projectile vomit, new skill on trade trials, 2 plus roll. If successful, armor roll against target. If succeeds, they're prone and injured. Roll of a 1, he vomits on himself and injures himself. So that's a bad chainsaw.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, instead of throwing a block, would you? I think I would.
I think I'd just block. It's a troll. Once you've activated
Sometimes against another big guy, suddenly made the troll the king of big guys.
Yeah, but you still got to roll like a 10 or a 9. I don't know. It just adds a little bit more utility to your troll, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how often it'll come up, but
yeah.
I like to have optimism when it comes to trolls, Ben.
I know. I like the optimism. Brawler, which we talked about before, is exactly the same as the Ogre Spike, which is if you are making a block action. I think it doesn't work on a blitz. You get to re-roll a both down result. That's quite good. Safe pair of hands. Can choose where the ball goes when knocked down or placed prone. I don't think you're going to take that one because I think you're going to be spending your SPP getting skills to stop you from being knocked down. The pile driver, after the block, you get a free foul action and then you go prone. That could be pretty cool. Armbar, dodge, leap, or jump away from this player that fails is modified +1 for armor or injury. So, that's like the next level up from tackle. Just makes it even worse. Jump up, the same as there. There is an unknown skill which negates a guard during your opponent's turn. Animal savagery, this is the one. This one is a bit tough. So wild animal plus will knock down standing adjacent teammate, then armor plus injury, and can continue activation as normal. If next to no one, just screams, loses tackle zone, and activation ends. So if that's replacing wild animal, it's getting worse, which is sad.
Yeah, it's more like really stupid, isn't it?
It is. Minotaurs could be worse. Sid the coach says Hail Mary pass on a bombardier isn't great anymore since it's no longer a 2 plus. Aren't bombers just better now than other pieces of harder time throwing the ball? Vomit. Ooh, maybe I've missed something there with bombardier. Let's have a look. See if we've got any. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe Hail Mary pass has changed. It has. Okay, Hail Mary pass. When this player performs a pass action or throw bomb action, the target square can be anywhere on the pitch and the range ruler is not used. Hail Mary pass is never accurate, regardless of the result. It will always be inaccurate at best. A passing ability test is made and can be rerolled as normal to determine if the Hail Mary is wildly accurate or is fumbled. A Hail Mary pass cannot be interfered with. That is a 2 plus.
Oh, it's the same, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a 2 plus.
Range ruler doesn't need to be used.
Yeah, you're not throwing the ball. You just it's going to be inaccurate anyway. So it's like throw teammate and just don't roll a 1 or a 2 if you've got negative modifiers. But this doesn't have any negative modifiers unless you've got tackle zones on you. So it's still, it says passing ability test. Oh no! Regardless of the result of the passing ability test. So even if you are inaccurate, it's still inaccurate.
It's not going to be what the new one is, wildly inaccurate.
Yeah. You're not fumbling it from yourself unless your total is 1 or less without rolling a 1. It might be overcomplicating passing there, I think. But hey, the fact of the matter is that the interception is now after the pass for everything else. And bombs blow up on a 4 plus if you catch them. As well.
Or is it?
So,
no, it's wildly inaccurate. Sorry, I'm getting confused there.
Okay.
It's wildly inaccurate at best. So does that mean it can? It's inaccurate at best. So it can be wildly inaccurate, but can it ever reach 1 unnaturally? Because if there's no modifiers,
tackle zones.
so it can be wildly inaccurate with the tackle zone.
Yes.
Yes.
and you can fumble it. I think no, fumble is just a 1. It actually gets slightly better then for bombardiers in that regard, because normally
Yeah.
if you've got a couple of tackle zones on a 1, 2, or 3, your bomber blows up. Now on a 1, 2, 3, the bomb is scattering from the bombardier, and you never know.
Probably blow up your teammates, but
Yeah, you know,
one would say.
I like that. I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
Ooh. Browner armor, Goblin Bomber level up, gets running pass, picks up ball, gets tossed up the field by a troll, lands close to an opponent, throws bomb to clear a path, runs in for a touchdown.
Wow.
I'm not sure
I
if
want to
that'll
see that
work.
play.
And Secatus says the savagery thing is better, in my opinion. Means as long as you have a player next to your savage beast, you can't lose your tackle zones, and you still definitely get your action. It just might cost you another player. Yeah, that's true. So if you've got some stunties, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, isn't it? So we talked through that. We've talked through projectile vomiting. We talked through pile driver. We talked through swarming. Weeping daggers have gone from gutter runners, but yeah, they weren't really used. Not very often anyway. We talked through the changing of the skills. We talked through the SPPs changing. We don't know if you're going to be forced to level up, whether you can just save them. I'm going to assume you just save them, Ben.
Yeah, I really hope you can. Sometimes you don't want to skill your players up. Especially as notlings, right?
Yeah, you got to save for that sweet 9 or whatever it is, so you can choose a double, which is going to make it a lot better because you can score touchdowns with snotlings quite easily.
You can, yeah.
It's just
And
normally
with that team, like not many other players can.
you're going to end up with some wicked like stilty guys.
Yeah, I reckon.
Oh, Ben Davey says Savage Beast is what Skaven linemen are made for. Absolutely. Oh, Sid says it says in the line above that you chart you've got to spend when you reach the characteristic increase amount. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, can you choose previous tiers? So could you save up to 12 and then choose a lower one?
I reckon so. And if not, as a TO, as a commissioner, you'd definitely allow it, because someone would be like, oh, because otherwise, Ben, you might leapfrog them. You might have a gutter runner that goes on and gets 9 SPP in a single game, and just jumps over choosing a double and goes straight to stat, and that would be absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Very
true.
Brutal to score that many touchdowns in one go. Yeah. Stuart Legg says presumably skill use is still optional, so if animal savagery causes you to hit a friendly player, you wouldn't have to use claw mighty blow. We don't know until the proper wording comes through. The drop the ball skill, which is Fumblerooski, will make it possible for really long ball carries, right? Run the ball, drop it next to a dude, pick it up, run, hand off, go for a throw. Yeah, but the thing is, I think you're going to have to take it as a skill. So I know a lot of people were saying, oh, Fumblerooski, that's going to be great for Minotaurs when they get the ball. It's not. It's not at all. The Minotaur's still going to have to hand off. You just can't throw with them anymore. Sid. So as soon as you reach 18 SPP, you got to spend some. It might just be 3 SPP for a random primary. Yeah, you know what? I think that's reasonable design.
Yeah, I think so too. I really like the new skill table.
It's going to be interesting and it's going to be different, which I'm very happy with.
I think we'll see definitely some different player builds and just players themselves, right?
Yeah, we're going to see different players, and it's going to be interesting to talk about different build orders that you can absolutely pull off. But no skills, no agility, and things like that, really, without some kind of random element. I think that's going to be massive from a team development point of view, because at the moment you take a skill up and you hope you get something special. You hope you swing agility or strength. I mean, Ben, we just talked about it on our Skaven podcast. Which of these stats would you want to take, or which would you give up? Now, they're not going to come around very often. So you're going to end up with, like you said, Black Orcs and things are going to be stronger for a significant portion more than they used to be. Because there's always a way of rolling a cheeky double 6. I did it in my all zombie league. Got a cheeky strength 4 zombie. I just don't think that's going to happen now. Hardly ever, unless 13, 14, 15, 16 on that D16 is a stat up.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
How, from a tournament perspective, how would you do it? How would you plan your tournament pack for buying skills? Would you then say instead you have like 100 SPPs to spend your build?
Yeah, there's a lot of tournaments that do that at the moment anyway.
Okay.
I think 48 is what a lot of things use to say you can spend them. Basically, what that means is you get 3 players with a double, or 6 players with a single, or whatever it is, 9 players with a single, and you mix it up between. It's not the most, because it involves more maths. It's not the most popular, but it does work. And I think, Ben, you're probably right. Doing something similar would work for this. I don't know if you'd allow random skills in your tournament. It could be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be
You'd
fun.
have to roll it on the day. I think there'll be a lot of admin there, right?
There would be a lot of admin, and I don't know if it's a good thing, because I think it basically means either you do it on the day, which is a lot of work for TOs. Can you imagine if we had to do that at Beachhead with 40-something coaches, and everyone was like, oh yeah, just chucked a couple of, I had 6 SPB left over, so I chucked 2 random skills on 2 people. Then you had to do that, get the teams logged. It's a lot of work. I think it's probably easy just to say, no random skills. You can buy, 6 or whatever. And I like that there's like different tiers. So for your second skill, it costs more than your first. It's well structured in that regard.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, Mutant Ball says, also guard could be nerfed in the way that during the active turn of the guard player, the guard skill can only be used after the player finished his action. Would reduce the massive utility of it. It would, but then you are having to actively track who's activated, which you do kind of anyway, but then you make being activated a status as opposed to just a reminder. Which I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can deal with as players. And the reason I say that is because a load of the comments for the prayers of Nuffle was all along the lines of, so this guy's now -1 armor. This one's we're gonna have to track this, so it's gonna make it interesting for tournaments. And I think the initial impression is that the tournaments are gonna just juggle those few and replace them as they used to be, 6, 7, and 8, but then put them back into the old order to avoid the prayers of Nuffle. Just because there's a lot of individual stats to track during a match, and when you're playing 3 or 4 matches a day, I think that just adds player fatigue.
Yeah, that would be a lot to keep up with, I think.
Marcus also says, would you be able to roll for the skill up and not take it if it's strength on a skink? First of all, you got to take strength 3 skink. It would be 140k at that point, but I would hope so. I would really hope so, because there's so many players that you just won't bother rolling for a stat up, because there's an extra stat now as well. Like, I'm going to take my Minotaur. All you want on a Minotaur for stat is strength, really. You don't want a stat of anything else. You'd rather just give him a murder skill.
You're right, it doesn't matter. And none of the others matter.
They really don't. It's
going to be really hard to get strength up big guys.
I would say that agility used to matter, because it'd be sweet to have an agility 3 Minotaur, but now agility is different from passing, and you can't pass. It's going to be interesting. Mutant Ball says, wouldn't be that hard to track compared to other things. You already have to track who's been activated and who has not. It only avoids additional counters. Yeah, it's definitely an option. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the rule, because guard is one of the least fun elements of Blood Bowl, and they've done a lot of work already. And I think we may have talked about this, Ben. Is they seem to have targeted a lot of the Blood Bowl tropes that you kind of thought about when you thought about a set meta in the competitive format. I mean, Ben, top of your head, what's the top 2 things that are the least fun about Blood Bowl at the moment, whether they're players or skills or whatever?
Dwarves.
Okay. We don't know what dwarves are going to be like yet, but it might be guard spam. They may not have tackle, but a lot of people have talked about wood elves, war dancers, leap, which has now been nerfed a little bit. It seems like they've put some element into claw where it can't stack now. It looks like they've put some what was it that Milton said, actually, Ben, in a Discord. He said quality of life changes. They've changed in.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's fair. I really hope they do a big change to them, because I'd love to play a dwarf team and just feel like I'm not losing friends.
Craig says in chat, yes, Bloodtithe, dwarves are an issue. Mutant Ball says blocks should have more counter skills. Juggernaut, for example. Hey, Brawler is kind of a block and anti-block skill, which is quite cool. We haven't seen dwarves yet. They still may land them without tackle. It's certainly not something I would say they would 100% not do right now. I don't know if they've taken any skills off anybody. They've changed up enough stuff that makes me think they may reduce them to 65k and take tackle away.
That would be interesting. Would that be enough to just would that like repair dwarves? Do you think make them a fun team?
It would make them fairer,
Yeah.
and I think it would allow more fun for the stunty teams, and it would make dodge matter. Just now they've got that 65k. Stephen Loud says dwarves. Well done, BT. Yeah, I can see them doing something slightly different in that regard. Maybe not. Mutant Ball says, always said the tackle should be split. One half should be fused with grab, maybe. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interplay. There's a lot of interplay with these skills that we have yet to see play out. Right, Ben, let's just check. Have we covered everything that's happened in the last few days? What else have we had?
I can't think of anything more. The trouble is, there's so much. It's really difficult to keep track of what is actually new.
I know. Every day stuff's just come up, which has been very exciting. It's been a very busy week for us. Right. The last thing
new inducements for stars that we've seen as there.
Oh man, I cannot wait to see the stars.
Yeah.
Oh my golly gosh. So this is not the thing I was looking for. So there's a record on this page of all the teams that have been spoiled and released. Here we go.
Alright, so the comments. Brownarama. Going in the grudge book.
Going in the Are we sure that's not Sam from our club then?
I know that he likes saying that.
Right, here we go. So some guys, I think this might have been the notorious JTB as well, has put together a page index, and as things have happened spoiler wise, they've kept a track of who is likely to go in the book. Now, there is still a chance that there'll be a PDF on launch and things like that, but this is the teams that looks like it's going to be appearing in 2020. Black Orcs, which we've seen. Chaos Chosen, Chaos Renegades, Dark Elves, Dwarves and Elven Union, which we haven't seen yet. Goblins, which we've seen. Halflings, Humans and Imperial Nobility, we've seen all those. Lizardmen, we've not seen them. Nope. Necro, we've seen them now. Nurgle, Ogre, Old World Alliance and Orc, we haven't seen those. Undead and Skaven we have seen. Snotlings we've now seen. Underworld we haven't, but they've only just released them, so we can be pretty solid they're going in there. And Wood Elf. So those are all teams that have had models released recently, which means we're waiting for Amazons, Chaos Dwarf, High Elf, Khemri, Norse and Vampires to find out whether they're getting a PDF or whether they're not going to be canon anymore. And that is huge.
I'm full in camp they'll get PDF, and that's purely because in Age of Sigmar there's some factions which aren't properly supported, but they have PDFs to download. They're not in the new books.
Awkwardly, that was Khemri as well.
Yeah, that is Tomb King. Yeah, that's the life of the Tomb King, isn't it?
And they have gone now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's awkward.
That's what made me think. I think you're right, though. I think there will be a PDF of Teams of Legend, and they'll chuck them in there, and it will be good. Jason really Webster, welcome to the party. So, Chaos Chosen, Chaos Renegades, Dark Elves, Dwarf, Elven Union, all have models. None of them have rules. Lizards, Nurgle, Ogre, Old World. There's a load of teams that we haven't seen the rules for yet, and only the Wood Elf. The Wood Elf are the only elves we've seen rules for, and I'm really excited of all of these to see the rules for Elven Union, because they are pegged to be the passing team.
That would be very cool.
I mean, to be fair, they are the passing team now, but I'm very excited to see if they can all pass, because I'll tell you what we will do. We'll have a quick look at that. Ooh, there we go. We will have a look at the big player list, because I think Wood Elves, there you go. Passing, Lineman 4+, Catcher 4+, War Dancer 4+, Thrower 2+, and Lauren Forest Treeman throwing 5+. So, first of all, Treemen can throw better than zombies. I suppose they have a height advantage, so I'll allow that. I'll allow that in my explanation.
Rocks and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, well, yeah. Poor Isengard.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the Elven Thrower 2+, exactly the same as the Skaven Thrower and the Human Thrower.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So, will we see Pro Elves with throwing of 1+? Or will we just see them have possibly Accurate or Cannoneer, which is the long Accurate?
I think the thrower will be the same. I think it will be 2+ still.
Yeah,
I just think everyone else will be 3+.
I would be interesting to see that because basically there's only a few players that can throw on a 3+, and one of them is the Halfling Hefty. So the Halfling Hefty throws better than almost every Wood Elf.
That, yeah, does that factor in Stunty?
Oh my goodness, do you know what it is? Do you know how this has worked?
How is it?
Uh, I think if you get passing access, you get +1 to passing. If you
Is
look
that
at
what it
all
is?
this, so if you're a thrower, your agility stays as it always was. If you're a lineman, it goes down by 1. If you're a positional, it goes down by another 1. But if you've got passing access, you get +1. Because no, it doesn't work. The Imperial Thrower is a 3+ and should be a 2+ in that regard. I don't know. He's got running
Debunks.
pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But there's a lot of cool stuff going on. We haven't even seen all of it. But I think this is probably it for leaks now.
Yeah, I could see them coming out still. I think we might see the odd team come up every week or so. I hope so.
Oh, that would be exciting for us. Anyway, got a couple of things in chat here. Mutant Ball says, if they don't finally make a Squig team, I'll be personally offended. I am right there with you. I wouldn't be surprised if the Fumble Secret teams didn't get updated when this goes live. I just think there's going to be so much going on. And most of them are really well designed, so I don't think it's going to take long to add that additional stat. Sid the coach, I'm pretty sure at least vampires are still a thing because animal savagery resembles a merged wild animal and bloodlust too similarly. It does. It does.
Yeah.
Blood Bowl tactics. High elves were always meant to have the best throwers. Elven Union have the best catchers. It's an interesting one. I think there's quite a lot of NFL analogies here that you can have a great quarterback, but if no one can catch the ball, you're SOL, which is sorry,
Yeah.
out of luck. Hey, I saw this as a Packers fan last year. Rodgers is probably one of the best throwers in the game, but his guys were just no hands everywhere. It's like everyone was a wraith. It's very sad.
Maybe maybe they'll transfer the high elf thrower to the Elven Union team and scrap high elves.
Just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Honest question to you guys from Mutant Ball. If you don't like it, will you stick to the old rules? Ben, after you on that one.
No. No, I think I'll move. Like I'm all for play the game you want to play. You know, if you and your league or you and your friends don't like something and you think, "Oh, I just wish it had this," then put it in. No one's going to stop you. No one's going to come and arrest you. Play the game you want to play. I think from what I've seen, this new version is the game I want to play, and I think it's if you're interested in playing in tournaments and like into club matches and stuff like that, it would be in your best interest to force yourself to play this version just for the tournament perspective, because I think it's going to be the new normal for Blood Bowl. So I even if you don't like it, I think give it a go. I think it improves a lot of things, but ultimately play what you want to play.
I completely agree. As a commissioner in TO, you're kind of incentivized to use the most up-to-date rules, and one good thing this will do is it will umbrella all the rules into one place, which will be incredibly useful for new players. So having planned, okay, I ran one tournament this year, I've had to cancel 2, but having planned these tournaments, even when you start writing the rules and stuff, if you've got the CRP stuff and then you've got all the new Blood Bowl stuff, there's just so much. Saying Blood Bowl 2020 and then the expansions that come out for it, it's kind of like a bit of a reset. It will be useful for competitive and, like Ben said, for just playing outside of your group, like have a standardized format. Really, really, really cool. There is absolutely no reason you can't have a CRP tournament. That'd be great fun. Dude, do you want to roll out the old school teams? Play it CRP style. There's just, it definitely, we will probably go with the most modern stuff as much as we can. But hey, we said this earlier about sevens. Talking about sevens is I don't know what sevens is going to be like. It will have to be new rules. Will it be new kickoff table? You know, there's a whole extra layer of ambiguity when it comes to the next phase of Blood Bowl and the Blood Bowl expansions. So we'll go with the new rules and we'll play with the new rules. And it seems like the new rules are going to be quite a lot of fun. but it may not be the streamlined, sweet game that it is now, because it's grown up. It's done. It's retiring, and it's going to be a new Blood Bowl for probably a lot of new players and probably a bit of a new community. And it is just a game though. Like Ben says, if you want to play CRP forever, play CRP forever as long as you're happy doing it. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Warhammer Fantasy Battle 6th was the pinnacle of Warhammer, and everything after that just pointless. I'd rather play 6th. Just play the game you want to play, which is exactly what Bloodtithe said. Just got to call out Ben Davey, who says Rogers sucks now, Sarah. Sorry, that's just disgraceful. Rogers is amazing. He's not as good as he used to be, and the team is not as good as it used to be, but yeah, we still managed to luck our way into the playoffs. Although they have drafted a new quarterback to replace him. Blood Bowl Tactics says Chaos has just been leaked. So should we have a quick look at that?
Oh yeah, what good timing!
Really, really crazy good timing. Let's go to the Blood Bowl community. And do we have it? Do we have it? Do we
Got your flak jacket on.
Honestly, it's felt like a bit of field reporting this week.
Yeah.
Can't see it. It's not on Blood Bowl community yet. That's can't see it on Blood Bowl community. So we'll just have to come back to it. Mutant Ball says, "Oh, I'm a cheesehead too. Fantastic." Jason Webster, did you mention Chaos Dwarves, the best team, and just woke up? Yeah, we mentioned Chaos Dwarves, but because they haven't had miniatures released for them, we don't. They are in the realm of Amazons and Norse and Vampires, where Games Workshop haven't redone them. Here we go. We have got the Chaos roster. Ben, should we talk about the Chaos roster quick before we sign off? Let me just get it on the stream, and we can all talk about it together. Recent send. There we go. Okay. Anything else in chat while I just seamlessly do this? Can we share a link? Come on. Copy link.
Talk to a new positional for Chaos. Oh, this is exciting. Eag's last one has bad changes in that regard.
Oh, we've got familiars. That is very, very tasty. Okay, so here we go. We've got the Chaos roster right here. Beastman, 0 to 16, 60k, 6-3, 3+, 4+ passing, armor 9+, and Horns GMS secondary A. So no passing access for Beastman. All right, didn't come up very often anyway. Passing of 4+. We've got 0 to 4 Chosen, 100k, so same cost as before, 5-4, 4+. So their agility's gone down. Passing of 5+, armor of 10+. They come with Brawler though, Ben.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
which makes them slightly better, but exactly the same cost. But they do lose agility. It'll be interesting to see. I think they might have the same agility now as Black Orcs. They're basically Black Orcs with better movement. Interesting.
That's interesting. But going down agility kind of sucks a bit, though, right?
Now, this is very interesting. So, familiars, 0 to 4, 25,000 each. 5-1, 2+ agility, 4+ passing, armor 7+, dodge, horns, stunty, sure hands, right stuff, titchy, agility and mutations on a basic. Chaos just won Blood Bowl.
That's immense.
Chaos just won Blood Bowl.
You've got for 5k, you're getting a horns with plus armor. Oh, with terrible agility.
Dude.
No, way better agility.
Amazing agility. Yeah. And sure hands.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Let's just bounce to the Minotaur. 145k, so gone down 5k. 5+, 5+. Hey, Minotaurs can still pass. Amazing. 9+, Animal Savagery. So they do have that. Frenzy Horns kick teammate. Oh, hello. You are now kicking your familiars on Chaos.
With Edge 2+ to land.
Right. They've got Loner 5+ for Minotaurs. So that sucks a bit as well. Mighty Blow, Thick Skull, Mutations and Strength. And Mutations on regular. So an easy claw. But this is fantastic. Yeah,
I see people in the chat are saying tier 2 Chaos. Are you crazy? This looks tier 1. This looks really strong. I think losing Edge on the Beast on the Chosen is quite serious because I think they kind of always were a threat. The fact they're Edge 3, they can still do everything.
Yeah. Now, someone said that it's a
Going,
fake roster.
oh, is it fake?
I don't know if it is.
It doesn't look fake to me. It looks
It
pretty legit.
doesn't look fake.
It'd be a very good fake. And I mean, I really like it.
It is
Really like it.
very interesting. Look, I'm a big fan of familiars. I've got some brewing for my Tzeentch team from the Secret League, so I already have those guys. Minotaur being able to kick teammates is really interesting.
Yeah, loan of 5+ on him though, so you know.
Oh, Loner
Even less
5
likely
plus is absolutely brutal. But look, a Chaos team starting with guys with 2+ agility and sure hands.
Yeah.
That's a bit great and will really just boost them.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know. This, look, Chaos were always tier 2 because they couldn't move the ball. Now it looks like they're definitely going to be able to move the ball, but they're going to be able to do it with a tiny, tiny human. So, interesting. Right, Rob Williams Day has got there. So, guys, actually, this does look like it's a fake. We finally saw a fake roster. This is a very exciting podcast.
why is it a fake?
Because Mighty Blow does not have a +1.
Ooh. Okay.
Now, it could just be a Games Workshop typo, but also this is the layout is really flat, which will be the first time we've seen a really flat layout. I don't know. Look how wonky the stat numbers are. Are you seeing wonky numbers?
Yeah, the familiar stats are out of line. They're slightly to the right.
That is exciting. So it looks like we've had our first fake.
Where's my tinfoil hat? Quick.
Oh, this is so exciting. That's so exciting. Like, if I'd had more time, I probably would have done this just to play with elf or dwarf players' heads.
Yeah.
Really, really, really interesting. Okay, so we thought we had some breaking news. Turns out we don't. D Maskell, yeah, there we go. Familiars are disgusting. Oh, I don't know how much longer I can take this, Ben.
Oh, this is so much. The heat, the fake news, it's all just...
I know, this is very exciting. Okay, so not a Chaos roster. Oh, man.
We think. Not 100% confirmed, but it looks pretty fake now. Now you pointed that out.
Right, let's go back to my safe space. Where's that? Where's that lovely... There are the snotlings. Let's go back to the snotlings.
Yeah, we like this.
Just look at the pump wagon. That is not broken. The pump wagon is not broken. Tiny 2+ agility, guys. Could be. So for Chaos. Oh, crazy. That was a very entertaining moment. But I think, unless you guys in chat have got any more question, I think we've covered everything else that's happened in the last few days for Blood Bowl. Ben, if the Snotling box comes with 2 pump wagons and everything, I'm going to be insanely happy.
I think all the new boxes are shaping up to be awesome. Like the fact you can have different bits on them now. Like the pump wagons look actually quite different. It's not just 2 mirrored sprues entirely. You can mix them up. It's just looking good. I'm just looking forward to putting them together and painting them.
And I think you're going to be able to swap the Snotlings around with the guys on the ground. So,
oh, really?
Well, yeah, why not? Look at that Snotling lineman, the Snotling lineman who's running. You can definitely chuck him on the top. The guy who's playing with the slingshot. I think there's going to be so much customization you can do with that.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. I just think there's so much there. Everyone in chat is just talking about how they wish they'd faked a roster. Paladin Demo says, "What I wanted more punting. That would have been really interesting." Is there a release date already, Mutant Ball? No. Holiday season. So the most popular rumor is that it's Snotlings in September, October, i.e. Halloween for Necro, and then Blood Bowl at Christmas. Fingers crossed for that, because I would love extra goodies at Christmas. And I know that we'll do as much as we can for how to play. We'll do an unboxing. We'll go absolutely all out if we can to do everything, because this is such an exciting... Thanksgiving is a holiday, said Robert Williams Day. Yeah, but I think Games Workshop said that it was going to be holiday season, didn't they?
Yeah, that would be a UK thing.
Yeah, I don't think they would confuse people like that.
Yeah.
Andy Cook says definitely going to convert the second pump wagon and swap Snotlings about. Oh, absolutely.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm
That's
going to
a
end
good
up with
shout.
too many of these pump wagons. I just know I'm going to have the sevens team. I'm going to have a regular 11s team, and then I'm going to have a chaos Snotling team because apparently I have problems. But yeah, cool. Right, Ben, let's wrap it up there.
Yes.
Guys, we'll be back if there is more news. We'll make sure we do some more breaking news. We haven't done breaking news for the last few days because it's all really just been stats that have come out that we've already seen. And it wasn't until this weekend when we saw the change of Necro and, of course, the Snotling roster land that we really had anything, I say, concrete to talk through. But we will be back if something else breaks. Until then, have a great week, Ben. I will catch you. I'll catch you in the week.
Yeah, sounds good. If we survive the heat wave.
Yeah, get back in the shed and print things.
Sorry, no way.
Guys in chat, thank you ever so much for joining us. Dark Zim, I would have kept the same rules, just had DB block to give different outcomes to blocks. Interesting, yeah. Thanks for the show. Blood Bowl news has been crazy fun, absolutely. I'm just being hopeful, says Robs. Heard not at the warehouse yet, so 3 months out at the least. Christmas. Ben, another £1 bet for Christmas.
Yeah, it's up to £3.
£3. What can you buy for £3? If pounds were SPP, you could get a random skill. There we go. Barry Wood, thanks for keeping us informed. Sid the Coach, cheers for the cast. Thanks very much for joining us, guys. We will catch you later. See you later.
Bye.